Captain's log started 87515.6, and I am pleased to say, this is Captain Bloomer Ninja in temporary command of USS Agamemnon. I have of course commanded an Agamemnon before, but my Agamemnon was an Intrepid class, and while I had commanded ships before her, Sumatra, Revenant, and Hornet, she was the first one I commanded at the rank of captain, and she had a special place in my heart. And her destruction during the Iconian War affected me almost as much as the ship I commanded at the time, Swiftshire. This new Pathfinder-class Agamemnon has just completed construction and has been named in her honor, and I have been awarded the job of commanding her during her shakedown cruise on what should be a nice, quiet exploratory mission, escorting our new friends, the Lukari, as they venture out into the galaxy. What the devil? Devrel reports that we've arrived in the Lukari system, and she's reading the Lukari starship in standard orbit here. However, she's also picking up some comm traffic. Sounds like Captain Kamarke is in the middle of a discussion with the Ferengi Daimon aboard that ship over there. Devrel, let's see if we can discreetly tune in. Well, I'm not sure I like where this is going. The Lukari have barely entered the galaxy community, and they've already encountered the Ferengi. Knowing the Ferengi, they're probably trying to sell something. Helm, take us to that Lukari ship.
My dear friend Kamarka, just think about how much I can help.
I try not to think about you at all, Madrin.
Madrin!
If not me, consider my wealth of useful contacts. For a small fee.
Any friend of yours is someone I'd rather not know.
It looks like the Minister knows how to handle herself with Ferengi. Madrin, that big-eared Ferengi snake. When was the last time I saw him? On Romulus? Exploiting Romulans? And he's got a command of his own. This is Captain Bloomer Ninja of the Federation starship Agamemnon. Explain yourself, Madrin. Don't you have better things to do?
What? You? I thought I'd seen the last of you. That is to say, we meet again.
Damon Madrin, fortunately for you, our business is with the Lukari today, or I'd arrest you.
Oh, come now. I'm sure we can reach an agreement that is to everyone's liking. I'm prepared to offer you an exclusive, once-in-a-lifetime investment.
Devrel, cut the channel, hail the Lukari.
Thank you. That insistent Ferengi has been trying to make new trade deals with us since he first visited our system. Oh, everything he tries to sell is either broken or worthless.
Yes, as his general manner. I've met him before, and I suggest you cease taking any of his deals. You look well, Captain, and might I congratulate you on being selected for your new exploratory program.
Thank you. It's good to see you again, and under much better circumstances. You'll be happy to know that our star remains stable. We've not seen any Tholian ships since the incident, thankfully. The decision to explore was somewhat controversial, however. Many Lukari were resistant to the notion. We settled this moon long ago, after we were forced to leave our dying homeworld of Kentar. It was a difficult journey for us. Once we found our new home, no one was very excited about space travel.
Yes, I did read about your leaving of your original homeworld. I was, of course, briefed prior to this mission.
Still, the exploration initiative passed. Considering my experience, my people have chosen me to command the LSS Concordium. It was an honor I proudly accepted.
I'm glad to hear it, and it's good to see you again, Captain Kumarke.
Our ship is ready to go, and you are.
Tell me a bit about your ship, Captain. I was, of course, briefed, but I'm sure you'd be able to give me a more detailed explanation.
While we have some catching up to do, we've engaged the best engineering minds of our world to modify this vessel. I'm quite proud. We've done a lot in a very short period of time. We've added some of your defensive technology to this ship, as well as some warp drive upgrades. The Concordium is now capable of sustaining a top speed of just over warp 4. Our collaboration with your engineers has been quite inspirational. We've started work on a starship of our own design. One of many to follow the Concordium to the stars.
I look forward to meeting it, Captain.
Our ship is ready to go, and you are.
Ham, let's align ourselves with the Lukari and set a course. Right then, Captain, let us proceed to our destination.
For our maiden voyage, I've chosen a star that is close enough to be within reach, but still just outside the area of space that you've explored, and obviously one that we haven't visited yet. According to your star charts, it's a yellow-white star called 20 Draconis.
Ah yes, we have it on our charts now, 20 Draconis, I see it. Right, Lieutenant Jerez, set a course and make ready to warp on the Lukari's order.
This isn't over. Believe me. The next deal we make will be on my terms.
Well, Martrand seems to have left, thank God. Let's hope we don't. I really hope that this time is the last time I ever see him. Right then, the Lukari have signaled that they are ready. Engage.
We've arrived on the outskirts of the system. There's a large field of rocky debris and asteroids. We're picking up various metals and crystalline formations. Should we approach one of the larger asteroids and take some more readings?
Yes, Captain. We'll head to one of those larger asteroids and we'll scan it. See what we can find. Helm, take us in. Engage. Right, Tavral, collaborate with the Concordium Science Officer. Let's take a scan.
Readings coming in now. Large quantities of silicate, hematite, hafnium, iridium. Crystalline structures appear to be the result of deposits created under a heavy impact. Perhaps this asteroid was part of a larger one that broke up in a collision. Heading deeper into the field may yield more clues.
Agreed, Captain. Lieutenant Jerez, let's guide the Lukari in.
Sensors are picking up some movement on the far side of the asteroid.
Movement?
Not simple orbiting debris either.
Tavral, concentrate the scanning beams. Let's see what they are. I'd hate to run into an hostile ship here. Those aren't ships.
Cosmozoans. They're beautiful. Do you have any information about them?
Good God, Starfleet hasn't seen these in a while. Yes, Captain, they were encountered first by one of our prior flagships, the Enterprise D, under the command of Captain Jean-Luc Picard. It's quite an entertaining story, really, but they've since been dubbed the Gekli. We're sending you data files on them now, Tavral. Lieutenant Nessie, transmit them.
Intriguing. The Gekli communicate using radio waves and feed on dust particles and energy emissions. And, it seems an adjustment of our EM band is in order. I don't like the idea of the Concordium becoming a Gekli food source.
Indeed, Captain, that is a prudent course of action. We are adjusting our own EM band down to 0.002 cycles as well.
We've adjusted our power systems. I'd like to gather more data on the Gekli before we move on. Any suggestions?
We could tag them with subspace data transmitters.
An excellent idea. We'll be able to track their movements and learn more about their migratory patterns and feeding habits. We'll need to get close in order to attach the tags safely.
Agreed. Lieutenant Jerez, take us close to the Gekli pod. Let's attach the tags with minimal force, preferably. Coles, make preparations. Hal, take us in. Colas, engage the tag. Fire! It's attaching.
Data's coming in from the Gekli. I'd like to expand the number of tagged subjects to optimize data collection. Let's get close enough to slip in with a pod and join them in their swimming.
Way ahead of you, Captain. We'll fly to the Gekli pod and join them as they swim through space. And this could be an excellent opportunity to test out our new, well, not new, but new to us, auxiliary craft. The Aero Shuttle can gather more sensor data. Ops, make ready for launch. Now. All systems functioning. Let's engage with the Gekli. Darrell says we're in position to move with the pod. Jerez, at your discretion.
We're getting close-up readings from all of the creatures.
Slow us down a bit, Jerez. We're ahead of them.
They're treating us like one of their own. They're trying to talk to us with their radio waves. That was incredible. What a singular experience. We've spotted a larger group of them in an area not too far from here. This looks like a feeding ground for several Gekli pods. Let's go have a look.
Very well. Helm, take us to the Gekli feeding grounds.
There are signs that several Gekli pods frequent this area. There's a lot of dust and particulate matter, but we can't see how the asteroids are getting broken down. I think there's something we're not seeing on the visible spectrum. Your ship has a stronger deflector than ours. Can you emit a particle wave? We could use that to illuminate things that might be happening in different spectra.
Tavrel, make necessary preparations. Captain, we will emit a multispectral particle wave. Good lord.
There's some kind of subspace shearing here. It's causing cosmic strings to snap off and break up the asteroids. That must be why the Gekli feed here. There's plenty of particulate matter for them to consume in the debris fields. I think we've collected some solid data here. We're ready to move on when you are.
Indeed, this will be valuable not only to you, but to our biologists. I wasn't expecting this to happen on our exploratory mission in space that I will add is already documented by us. Let's see what lies ahead, Captain. Engage.
Sensors are reading a swarm of comets passing by this stellar body. They look to have an orbital period of about 173 of your standard years. I'd like to know if they came from outside of the system and were caught in its gravity, or if they originated here. Shall we take some scans? This comet is mostly ice and dust. There are indications that the cometary matter formed around a magnetic core. The other comets may be more interesting. Let's move to the other comets and study them closely.
Passing through the tail. Smoothly. Same goes with the Concordium. Devrel, let's take a comet core sample. Make preparations. Right, drilling now.
Sample shows signs of magnetic radioactive matter. This comet may have seen some interesting particle fields in its wandering.
The magnetic core must help to draw in material that forms the corona.
Holding the comet let us get some detailed readings about its emissions. Based on the structure of its silicate crystals, it's been in a pattern. It picks up energy from its trip near the star, then loses that energy as it loops past the planets.
Fascinating.
It's like ice melting and refreezing, but it seems to lose a large quantity of energy all at once near here. I'm not sure why. The radioactivity should be steady.
Perhaps something's draining the energy.
These comets seem to have a long orbit that coincides with the orbit of a Class A planet nearby. I'd like to launch a probe and see if the cometary movements have had any impact on the planet.
Agreed. I will make ready to launch the probe, Colas. Let's collect some detailed readings. Right, Jerez. Let's get past this comet here. Colas, let's launch that probe. Fire!
Probe data received. The planet is radiating a considerable amount of heat for its size. Nothing our shields can't handle, but I don't see any expeditions to its surface happening anytime soon. Curious. I'm picking up several large, moving sources of energy. Sensors indicate they're a life form of some kind. A cosmozoan, but not the Gekli. I'd like to study them if we can.
2 sets of cosmozoans in as many warp jumps? Well, this is turning out to be quite the shakedown cruise. Let's take a closer look at those life forms, find out what they are. If they're undocumented, then, well, this is quite an exciting mission. Full impulse.
Planet is geothermal in nature. Its surface is partially molten.
Really?
No life forms detected planetside. Then again, it is rather warm down there.
Indeed. We're nearing them. Let's slow down.
There they are!
My god!
Magnificent, aren't they?
My god, Farpoint Cosmozoans! Oh my god, it's been a long time since we've sighted those. This really is quite the shakedown cruise. Right, let's slow down for a moment. These are actually sentient, and they're unique in that way.
The creatures are luminescent ovoids? I'm not sure how to describe them. They remind me of an aquatic life form native to Lukari Prime. There are little ones huddling close to the planet's atmosphere. They must use the heat and the planet's electrical discharges to survive.
They're a type of Nidarian. We're sending you files now.
Interesting. These life forms were encountered by the USS Enterprise D on Deneb 4, someplace called Farpoint Station. They haven't been seen anywhere else since. You shouldn't harm them or their young. Let's transmit a greeting, then be on our way.
Right. We'll move in close and transmit a greeting to these sentient cosmozoans. Right then. Take us in a close pass, Lieutenant. Not too close. These things are very powerful. They can even shapeshift into ships that can fire phasers and everything. Well, something like phasers anyway. Some sort of directed energy weapon. Right, Several, transmit our greeting.
The color display must be a form of communication. I didn't realize that life forms could exist in this fashion, living off the heat of planets, feeding on the particles in space, absorbing radiation from the cosmos. There's so much to see. Let's head to the next planet in the system and see what's there.
Agreed. Let's put some distance between us and them. We don't know what effect subspace fields have on them. Right, Jerez? This really is quite the shakedown cruise.
Are you seeing this? My sensors indicate this planet is completely devoid of any organic material, and yet it has a breathable atmosphere and lies well within the system's habitable zone. Most curious.
Agreed. Very curious. I think this actually warrants a beam down, Captain.
I'm picking up residual levels of radiation. Oh my.
Captain?
I believe I know what happened to this world. Some kind of proto-matter wave happened here.
Proto-matter? But that's dangerously unstable. Could the indigenous life forms be trying to create it? And then, well, they must have failed or succeeded and then destroyed themselves. Good God.
Not if you know how to resolve the chaotic turbulence with a tarfine reduction.
Really?
This was a recent event. Some kind of proto-matter incident happened, and it wiped out all life on the planet. I think we should send an away team down to learn more.
I agree, Captain, and if you can recall, I did suggest that. Right then, number one, you have the bridge, and considering the mission, 2 science officers would be warranted. We don't need a full away team. Tavral and, Dr. Dahlberg, this is the bridge. Make your way from the med bay with any equipment you need for a planetary survey to Transport Room 1. We're beaming down.
Oh, not sure I'll ever get used to transporters. Let's see. Initial scans suggest this area used to be inhabited, but I can't find a single trace of organic matter. None. I see some carvings on those canyon walls. Let's take a look.
Carvings? That pillar near the canyon wall looks interesting as well. Definitely not natural. Well, not definitely, but it's almost certainly not natural from my eye. Let's get a closer look.
The walls of this canyon were worked by tools. I'm sure of it. Sentient life forms lived here. Until the proto-matter detonation. This pillar here, it seems to be a sign pointing to that canyon. Perhaps a pathway there leads to a settlement of some kind. I'm reading metallic objects there as well. Shall we take a look?
Yes, of course. Let's follow the path through the canyon. I think I see something around the corner as well. With me.
Look, there's some kind of large structure further down the canyon.
That must be what I saw. What the hell happened here? Were they really trying to create proto-matter and destroyed themselves in the process? Good God.
Look at the size of that plaza. These people must have had quite a developed culture. Let's take some readings up there.
If I had to guess, based on my framework of information on other cultures that are in the Federation, I'd say that this looks a bit like a temple. But it could be anything, really. We haven't encountered this race before. Why haven't we? If they were capable of generating proto-matter, then they were almost certainly warp-capable, and we would have detected that and made first contact. What the hell? Proto-matter before warp? Right then. Let's see what the hell's going on here.
This looks like a town square or ceremonial center of some kind. I see some murals on the far side of the square over there by that arch. I'd like to examine them. They might tell us more about this place.
They look somewhat similar to Egyptian or Vulcan carvings on similar structures. Agreed. Let's examine them. Looks like a doorway there. There must be some sort of mechanism, but I don't see anything. That's interesting. Right then. Right, I'm no archaeologist, and once we're out of here, they'll probably get some actual archaeologists down here, but let's see what we can think of.
These murals depict people bringing some objects to this place. Crystals or gems, I believe? They built their settlement around this site. I believe it was a place of great significance to them. The next mural may hold more clues for us. Let's have a look.
Indeed. Let's check it out. All of you with me. God, this place almost feels haunted. Like a ghost town. Houses and places where people lived, but no one there. It's creepy. Right then. Let's examine them. It looks like... I believe this depicts the building of this temple. I can see some sort of scaffolding around it. And people bringing equipment, similarly to how the Egyptians were thought to have built the pyramids. On Earth.
This mural depicts the construction of this large structure. I suspect it was a temple or a place of contemplation for the people. The crystals were revered by the locals. Perhaps even worshipped by them. We'd better have a look at the next mural, don't you think?
Some writing here. Of course, it'll take some time to decode it. We'll get some archaeologists down here to do that at some point. Oh, I'm sure they'll be very excited by this intact pottery. Oh, I see it. Good lord. Those things were massive. I assume this is to depict scale and Either there were different sizes of crystal, or this shows a sequence of growth. Perhaps they were plants rather than crystals. Perhaps in the beginning, on the previous mural, they had seeds.
The crystals depicted in this mural appear to be growing for some reason. I wonder if this is a symbolic or literal representation of events. Perhaps the structure needed to be modified to hold the volume of crystals they collected over the years.
Indeed, these crystals may have grown through natural means as well.
Quite the enigma we found here. I suspect there's more to be found inside. Getting there will be a challenge, however. According to my scans, these pillars are connected to some kind of massive mechanical structure. Probably the peak of technology for these people. I believe it's some kind of opening mechanism for the structure's door.
Good God, I'm scanning now. Good Lord. They've got quite the mechanism down here. I mean, nothing that a pre-warp civilization wouldn't be able to build, but it's certainly more significant than I was expecting. Very intricate.
We could probably force it open, but that could damage the structure, and too much force could even collapse it entirely. I suggest we create a holographic forensic reconstruction.
Good thinking, Captain. A holographic recreation of local life, perhaps.
Yes, it would be based on analysis of things like footprints, wear patterns, and local construction. We can learn what people did here, how they went about their lives, and how they made the device work. We'd be watching a replay of history, roughly speaking. Let's start by gathering information from relics and leftover traces of the people who once lived here.
Let's look for old tools, footprints, anything that could tell us about them.
These artifacts were used with opposable thumbs and indicate a likely handspan of 22 centimeters.
22? That's not massively large.
Based on these footprints, these people had a stride that places them at about 1.6 meters on average.
That's quite significant. Right, let's see. More broken pottery. Let's see what this can tell us.
The wear patterns here show us that people leaned against here frequently. This was a meeting and gathering area.
Indeed. Fascinating.
Strange. These relics should be covered with dust and sand, worn away by time and wind. But they're all uncovered. No organic matter left, and everything left behind in its place. Frozen in time,
Like these people died recently.
Yes. The evidence seems clear. The proto-matter detonation happened only weeks, perhaps even days ago. We're going to need to make an accurate simulation to continue our studies here. I suggest using modified pattern enhancers to do this.
Agreed. We'll set up modified pattern enhancers in the plaza. We'll beam them down from the Agamemnon. They weren't even close to being warp capable. How the hell did they create protomatter? Anyway, we've got beam down sights. Energize.
Enhancers online. The signal is strong and clear.
Understood.
2 down, 2 to go.
Right, Agamemnon, this should be the last one. Engineering, energize on, well, whenever you're ready.
That's the last one. All enhancers online and standing by. All right. The enhancers should give us a pretty good image range. Your tricorder can then act as the center of the network control for the enhancers. I can tie in my data to your tricorder whenever you're ready. Get a little close to the center of the square so we can see what happens.
Great minds think alike, Captain. Or fools never differ, either way. Right then, not to insult you, Captain, it's simply a human expression. We're at the plaza center. Let's begin. Modulating now. Oh. They're worshipping something. This individual is moving. Only one moving besides the worshippers. That devil.
Note that the alien is using the pillars in a specific order.
Indeed. Right, let's keep track of that, Sevrel. You have a good memory. What hand motion is that? Is he turning them?
They're making the murals match up on each pillar.
By turning them, indeed. These people must be quite strong. Well, unless they're mechanically assisted by some sort of lubricant. Right, I think I've got the order down. Matching them up. One of these, if I have to assume, one of these sections doesn't move and you have to match up with the rest. Right, then what is he doing now? Well,
Looks like some kind of functionary, priest or bureaucrat, I think, would unlock the door by turning the murals on the pillars. The top mural on each pillar seems to be locked in place for reference. We should follow the order they used on the pillar murals. If we can turn them correctly, I believe we'll unlock the door.
Indeed, I'll tend to agree with you, Captain. Let's unlock that thing. And if these people did indeed die only moments ago, then the mechanical systems should still be well maintained. Seems to match up with the sort of egg-shaped thing. Start with the middle. These things, I was quite correct. This must be some sort of lubricant. I can move them easily. Still very scrapey sounds of the stone. Ah, star egg. Fascinating. Oh, I'm not sure what to describe that as. The top of an Iconian. Oh no, just a random pattern, not an Iconian.
That's 2 pillars set into place.
Indeed. Pieces are quite literally falling in place. Right, looks like some sort of elliptical shape. Ah, first try. Perfect. I hear movement. Wait, is that what I think it is? No.
That's it! It's working! Well done! Shall we see what secrets this building holds? I think I see another mural inside the doorway. We should take a look at it.
I see it too, and I'm worried by certain similarities it has to our badges. It could be a coincidence. It's not a difficult shape, it's just an odd triangle, I suppose. It's weird. This place is getting creepier and creepier.
Isn't that the symbol of your Starfleet? How did it get here? How could it be in a temple of people who don't even have electricity, much less space travel? This is getting stranger by the minute. We should search the temple for more murals.
Indeed, let's look for some more murals in here. God, this is slightly worrying if they've got a Starfleet Delta here. Perhaps a Starfleet probe or some sort of Starfleet ship crashed here long ago? Fascinating. But still, it could be a coincidence. Oh my god.
Those people in the picture, they don't look like the others.
They're from Starfleet, if I'm not mistaken, wearing 23rd century uniforms. Uniforms that I have recently become very familiar with. How should I know?
What happened here? If Starfleet officers contacted this civilization in the past, why wouldn't you have a record of it? We should head deeper into the temple and continue our search.
Perhaps we didn't have a record of it because these were mutineers or something. Because if these people, like you said, don't even have electricity, they're certainly not warp capable or ready for some sort of first contact. Let's search for answers deeper in the temple. God, what the hell?
I think the panel on the wall here can be pushed to open something.
A panel would be a generous word for it. It looks more like a button. Right, pushing it.
Those inner doors across from the panel are opening.
And there are those crystals we saw. Or plants, we don't know yet.
What is all of this? According to my tricorder, we've reached ground zero. This is where someone detonated the protomatter bomb. From here, a self-propagating cascade of proto-energy radiated outward in all directions, washing over the entire planet.
Could this have been a failed terraforming project?
Doubtful. I believe what did this was built specifically as a weapon.
Good God.
There's no new ecosystem. All life was eliminated. I'm picking up a residual energy signature here. Take a look. 16 centimeter wavelength with a slight kaon leak. I've seen this before. It's a byproduct of Zenkethi technology.
Zenkethi? What the hell were they doing here? We're being contacted by the Agamemnon. Flores reports that they found a derelict space station in orbit around the planet. It's unpowered and covered in decades of dust, which made it hard to pinpoint in the asteroid ring. She says, unfortunately, we aren't the only ones to find it. Several starships have arrived in the system, and they're laying claim to the station. Could these be the Zenkethi? If so, we certainly have words for them. They need to discuss what the hell they've been doing down here. But laying claim to it, what the hell is special about it? Right then. Flores, get the ship in range and give us a side-to-side transport directly to the station. Everyone down here, stand by for reinforcements. Whoever's down there might beam down as well and cause some trouble. Keep the Lukari ship protected. Make preparations to possibly extend your shield around them if necessary. They're not ready for a fight. Energize! Oh, I recognize this interior. What the hell? An entire station from the 23rd century? Tyrell, report, what do you have? She says we're on one of the old K-series Federation deep space stations. How the hell did it get here? What the hell happened to it? It's in quite a state. Hold on, there's a placard over here. Deep Space K-13. Starbase class, United Federation of Planets. My god, how the hell did a 23rd century space station make it this deep into the Alpha Quadrant? Not even starships had been this deep at that time. And space stations don't have warp capability. Tyrell says that Deep Space K-13 is a name that is recognizable to her. She's read about it. It's a station that was lost in a time over 100 years ago. Lost in time? Some sort of wormhole could explain how it got here. Good God.
You're trespassing. I'm claiming this station as salvage, along with everything in it.
Margarine.
A piece of history like this will be quite the vacation site. Experience life on the final frontier at Modron's K-13. But I digress. Unless you're here to discuss leasing opportunities, I suggest you beam off my station.
Like hell. It's not his station yet. In fact, it's our station. Let's take a look around.
Careful. This old beauty needs some serious repairs. It'd be a shame if something happened to you, or the active stasis pods my men found on board.
Stasis pods? Could the crew still be alive? Good God. Anyway, Margarine, then I'd see to it nothing like that happens. Damon. Blueberry Ninja out.
Fair warning. My Nausicaan gods aren't very fond of intruders.
Oh, Nausicans, for God's sake. We'll need reinforcements. Blueberry Ninja to Agamemnon. Beam the rest of the away team down here, please. Right then, we've got, well, Ensign Thasia and newly promoted Lieutenant Junior Grade Jerez Tenor. Right, I'm glad you brought rifles with you. With me. Let's keep moving. Be careful, we've got Nausicans around here. Unless he was bluffing, and I really hope he was.
I'd be happy to sell the pods to you. Consider their living contents a promotional bonus.
Oh, Christ. I don't think they saw us. No, they definitely saw us. Right, I'm Captain Blueberry Ninja of the Federation Never mind, fire! Fortunately, most of them don't seem to have personal shielding. Did I see a Lethian? Looks like the computer systems are still online. While we've got a breather from the Norsigans. Let's read some of the logs, perhaps. I'm accessing.
Chief Engineer's Log, March 18th, 1570. Had a discussion this morning with security about our Klingon prisoners in the brig. We can't just leave them locked up, or execute them, or exile them on the planet below. Setting them free isn't a popular notion either. We're still looking for options, but I think the stasis pods we have in medical will come in handy real soon.
Good God, are they still alive? My God, we have to get to them before Margarine does something that would be unfortunate with them. He's probably holding them as hostages. Right, I'm overriding the security fields. Thasius says that this technology is ancient, but it's surprisingly functional, at least a rudimentary level. They built things to last in the 23rd century, it appears. She says the Norsigans managed to get partial power online, but they did it in a hurry. It could go down at any moment. She says in the meantime, we've managed to drop the security field, and we can access other parts of the station. Good work, Ensign. I'm glad the Kabali lent us to you for such a long period. Is there anything else on the computer? She says there are some log files in the computer as well. Most of them are garbled, but she believes she can restore the last entry. Well, let's hear it. Put it up.
Chief Engineer's Log, Supplemental. By my account, we've been hurled back in time to the 16th century. To make matters worse, we're a very long way from the Deneva system. None of our shuttles are warp capable, and even if we could get to Earth, we'd be in the wrong time. In short, we're stuck. There's nothing to do now but wait and try to conjure up a way to get back to the right time.
Thasius says this computer's lost the ability to link in with the main computer, but with the security fields down, she says we can get into the other lab. From there, we may be able to access the main computer and lock the Norsigans out. That will keep them from bringing the fields back online or using the station to stop us. Understood, Ensign. Let's see what we can find at the other lab.
The fines for trespassing are quite severe, and I plan on collecting them.
God, I hate Margarine more and more every single day that I meet him. With me. Weapons ready. I see Norsigans patrolling. Stand by. Fire! Good work. Jerez says, looks like those doors are locked. We'll have to find a way to bypass them. Agreed, Lieutenant. Throwing a grenade. We've got them. Oh my good lord. Those must be the stasis pods. There are at least, well, 6 officers in there. 2 science, 2 command, 1 engineering. Let's get a better look. After we lock out the main computer, of course. Right, locking out. Tyrell reports that she's locking the Norsigans out of the main computer. That'll keep them from taking over any more of the station's subsystems. I certainly hope so, Commander. Good work. Tyrell says there's another log entry.
Chief Engineer's Log, April 17th, 1570. Today we visited the planet we're calling Draconis 3 to collect supplies. The good news, there's a humanoid civilization down there. The bad news, a potential Prime Directive violation. Our landing party was seen beaming in by some of the locals. We're hoping that doesn't impact their culture in any way. One thing's for sure, they can't help us go home. Their tech level is Bronze Age at best.
Thasia reports that the station is so old and badly damaged that most of the security systems don't work anymore. She says, however, if we can take over the central hub, we can lock it down and keep the Norsigans from bringing anyone else over. That's a good idea, Ensign. Acknowledged. Let's secure the central hub of the station. Then we can deal with these stasis pods.
Trying my patience is going to cost you dearly.
Oh, Margarine.
Chief Engineer's Log, August 6th, 1570. The Warp Booster Sled project is officially a bust. When we tried to spin up the coils, we couldn't get a stable warp field. Yashvi and Arlington managed to shut it down and stop a breach, but the shuttle's impulse drive is shot. I hate giving up, but we just don't have the parts we need to make it work.
Right, this way. I don't see anything. Never mind, I see something and they see us. Open fire! Take cover! Right, good smoke there. Cover behind these pillars. There's a table here, perfect. Well, not perfect, if Phaser could vaporize that, but it doesn't matter. Good enough. Jerez is down. Bloody hell. Right, I'll attempt to activate auxiliary power. There's your report that auxiliary power is coming up now, activating a low-level scattering field that will prevent the Nausicaans from beaming over reinforcements. Thank you, Ensign. Excellent work. Anything else? She said she found one last log entry. She says she's afraid the rest of the computer memory is heavily corrupted. Well, let's put it up before we deal with those Nausicaans. They're locked for the moment.
Chief Engineer's Log, July 26th, 1571. Most of us went into stasis this morning. There weren't enough pods for everyone. 3 of us had to stay awake. We drew lots, and Tavon, Sheridan, and I were the lucky winners. Since we're out of options, we've decided to go native and live out our lives on Draconis 3. Hopefully, one day our records will be found, and the people of Station K-13 will be remembered.
Rule of Acquisition 431. When the shooting starts, let the mercenaries handle it. Handle this, Captain!
Oh, the door's open, and I hear transport.
The crime is trespassing. The sentence is death.
Oh my god, fire! Right, take cover. God, this one seems to be more heavily armed than the rest. Oh, bloody hell. Right, I'm throwing a photon grenade. He's attempting to get behind that door. Follow him. You take this, you bloody... God, he's massive. Christ. Heidi's down. Christ, I hate Nausicaans. And Ferengi for that matter. Well, I hate some Nausicaans and some Ferengi. I hate these specific Nausicaans and that specific Ferengi. Margarine. Flores says that they need me back on the ship right away. Margarine and the Nausican allies are moving to intercept them and the Concordium. Oh, for God's sake, this was supposed to be a shakedown cruise. Well, at least we'll get to test the combat systems, but if anything fails, we're, well, screwed. Energize, Commander!
I see you took out the Nausicaans on my station. I'll just add their fees to your tab. I do hope you're good for it. Otherwise, I might have to take possession of that pretty ship of yours.
Really?
Come to think of it, I'll be taking your ship anyway. Whether you're alive or not when I do is up to you.
Oh, you're welcome to try, Damon. Assuming nothing fails, we have it significantly outmatched. Oh, he's closed the channel. Shields up. Target that frigate. Open fire. Right, let's move to protect the Concordium. They're opening fire. I was unaware that they had weapons, although it does make sense. Target that frigate. Fire. Launch the Aero Shuttle. We need all the help we can get to help protect the Concordium. I hope that Aero Shuttle's combat ready. Bloody hell. Target that frigate. Fire off torpedoes. On to starboard. Target a spread of quantum warheads. Fire! Right, they're losing systems. Right, we've got one. Right, target that drone, let's get rid of it. Alright, the drone's gone, target that frigate, open fire. We've got the Aero Shuttle assisting us. Looks like the Concordium's only being fired upon by one vessel. That's good. But it's a battleship. It's Margarine's Marauder. Target that ship, fire a tachyon beam, a tractor beam, and a spread of torpedoes. Fire! Armed torpedoes. Fire.
Not my engines! Those cost me more latinum than you're worth!
Well, looks like he's disabled. Target that siphon drone. Fire. Target that frigate. Fire all weapons.
Double hazard pay to whoever takes that ship down!
Oh, for God's sake. I sense more incoming frigates. Fire. Oh, bloody hell, we're in a tractor beam. Helm evasive maneuvers. Looks like the aero shuttle's taking some damage. Get our bow away from the enemy and have them dock. Right, hard about. Let's re-engage that battleship. Concordium gave us a moment to regroup with our aero shuttle. Let's assist them. Fire! Right, hard about. Attack Battenkirk, Epsilon 1. Get them in a tractor beam, off torpedoes, fire spread.
Get out of here! Maximum work!
Oh, for God's sake, looked like that battleship kept us occupied long enough for Madron to repair his engines. For God's sake, we're in no shape to pursue. We'll have to let him go. We'll catch him at some point. God, I hate him. Agamemnon to Concordium. Captain, I hope they didn't rough you up too much.
That was quite an adventure. I knew Madron was greedy and treacherous, but I never thought he was willing to kill to get what he wants. In spite of that, I feel like we've learned so much out here, and for the better.
Yes, it is often like this out in the galaxy, Captain. Dangerous, but also filled with discovery. Well worth the risk, in my book.
Indeed. I'd say our first flight was a success. Now we need to share our discoveries with everyone back home. I hope today's events will convince my people of the continued need to explore and to be part of the galactic community. With luck, we'll do this again sometime, and soon. On behalf of the Lukari people, thank you.
I look forward to it, and on behalf of the Federation, you are welcome, Captain. Safe travels.
I'm happy to hear the Lukari handled their first experience with space exploration well. There's talk of their desire to join the Federation, and from what I'm seeing, they'd be fine members. The mystery of Station K-13 has been solved, although the past violation of the Prime Directive by some of its personnel is a concern. Hopefully the crew preserved in stasis pods will be able to shed a little more light on that situation. Finally, this news of a Zenkethi protomatter weapon is disturbing. I'll be looking into it from all angles, diplomatic and military in particular. We've fought a war with them before, and I'd prefer avoiding another now.
Indeed, Admiral, the Zenkethi's actions are troubling, and I look forward to finding out what the hell they did it for. The entire planet. But that is all, and that is my report, Admiral. Agamemnon out. And with that, thank you all so much for watching. If you enjoyed, please feel free to leave a like, subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Goodbye.